you ever been curious about the Middle Age inventions? Would you travel back in time if you could? Do you think you would enjoy it? And how long would you last? When the Roman Empire fell into crisis and decline, thus began the Middle Ages, or commonly known as the Dark Ages. During this time, life was brutal and scary, but there were certain people that came up with different inventions that affected their whole lives.
Hi, this is me, Vanessa, introducing
The Dream of History, Dark Age. Number 1. Printing Press.
the first invention was invented in the mid-1400s and was developed by Johannes Gutenberg from Mainz, Germany. It is the printing press.
Gutenberg began experimenting a machine that can handle a printing process in Strasbourg, France. He then returned to Mainz, Germany several years later, and by 1450, he already perfected the printing machine and was ready to use commercially. But how does it work? In Gutenberg's printing press, it was a movable type and was arranged over a flat wooden plate called the lower platen. Ink was applied to the type, and a sheet of paper was laid on top. An upper platen was brought down to meet the lower platen. The two plates pressed the paper and type together, creating a sharp images on the paper. But what are its purpose? It allows for the mass production of uniform printed matter, mainly text in the form of books, pamphlets, and newspapers. Allows for an assembly line style production process that was much more efficient than pressing paper to ink by hand. Number 2. Paper money.
The paper money was first developed in Tang Dynasty during the 7th century.
Paper money served as a currency that is circulated for transactions involved in acquiring goods and services. It has a very important advantage over coins made from precious metals, since they were much easier to transport around, which proved to be a great benefit for merchants.
How it works? Well, similar to making a deposit in a modern bank, individuals would transfer their coins to a trustworthy party and then receive a note denoting how much they had deposited. The note could then be redeemed for currency at a long time.
Number 3. Hourglass.
Hourglass. During the 8th century in France, a French monk called Liutprand invented a timekeeping device, which is the hourglass, also called a sun clock. There are other claims that it was invented as early as 7th century, but there is no efficient evidence that could support that.
Number 4. Wheelbarrow.
Wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow was invented during the 123 AD as a form of military technology. It was created or invented by Zhuge Liang of Shanghai. A wheelbarrow is a vehicle with one wheel at the front of the load, pushed by an operator, and all weight is carried by the wheel.
Wheelbarrows are used for a variety of things, such as moving food. It was also used to quickly and effectively carry injured soldiers out of ancient battlefields. The wheelbarrow is designed to distribute the weight of its load between the wheel and the operator.
Number 5. Coffee house.
Latte, cappuccino, double espresso, greatest white, and premium stick. These have been the coffee types that have been famous ever since the rise of the coffee houses. The coffee houses was first introduced to Europe in the 16th century and became popular during the late 17th. What made these coffee houses special was that it became the center of social activity, communication, and changed the course of history. The coffee house of that time was the school of wit, dialect, and new trends in literature. Coffee houses today still serves that purpose, but enhance the variety of coffee. After all, coffee houses isn't just a simple coffee shop. It is a kind of democratic club accessible for anyone for an inexpensive cup of coffee.
Number 6. Eyeglasses.
Eyeglasses, the first wearable glasses known to history, appeared in Italy during the 13th century. Primitive glass blow lenses were set in a wooden or leather frames and then held before the face or perched on the nose. It was invented by Salvino the Aramate. Ever wondered how eyeglasses works? Seeing someone wearing eyeglasses today is just as common as seeing a person wearing a jacket during the cold times. Glasses are a tool that provides vision to most people, regardless of prescription or eyesight. The purpose of eyeglasses and contact lenses is to correct or improve the vision of the people with nearsightedness, farsightedness, presbyopia, and astigmatism.
Number 7. Gunpowder.
Gunpowder. Gunpowder was invented during 142 AD when a Chinese alchemist tried to create a potion of immortality but ended up making an explosive powder which contains potassium nitrate combined with charcoal and sulfur, making it flammable and explosive when ignited. So it was originally used for medical purposes, which is the potion of immortality, and a few hundred years later, during the 7th century, gunpowder was used to create fireworks. And by the 9th century, it became the basis in creating powerful weapons, and up until now, many modern weapons still uses gunpowder as its basis.
Number 8. Mechanical clock.
The mechanical clock was invented during the 14th century, and it was invented by Pope Sylvester II. The mechanical clock comprises an oscillating mechanism that marks the passing of time and an escapement that counts its beats. By comparison with astronomical systems for measuring time, the mechanical clock is less accurate but can be consulted at any time of day or night, even in adverse weather conditions. At the time of the invention of mechanical clocks, the primary use was in the monasteries. They were typically used to keep track of hours for daily prayers, to help monks calculate solar and lunar eclipses, and to determine feast days with accuracy. By the middle of the 15th century, mechanical clocks also began to be used at secular establishments and buildings, such as castles, courthouses, and council chambers.
Oh my God! Wow!
Number 9. Magnetic compass.
Magnetic compass. It was first used by the Chinese in 200 AD and rediscovered by the Europeans in 1082. It was invented by a Chinese inventor during the Han Dynasty. A compass is a device that shows the cardinal directions for navigation and geographic orientation. It commonly consists of a magnetized needle or other element such as a compass rose or a compass card, which can pivot to align itself with magnetic north. In 200 AD, magnetic compass was mainly used for fortune telling, but then the Chinese used the magnetic compass for sea travel in the 11th century.
Number 10. Malatestiana Library.
Malatestiana Library, also known as Malatesta Novello Library, is the first public library, and its purpose is to give people an access on books, and it serves as a place to read, learn, and borrow books.
The Middle Ages. It was the time where we can see a radical change in the rate of new inventions. This period saw innovations and technological advances, including the adoption of gunpowder, water windmills, mechanical clocks, hourglasses, eyeglasses, paper monies, magnetic compass, printing press, wheelbarrow, and the rise of the coffee houses. These inventions made dissemination of knowledge into a wider population possible that would not only lead to an equal society, but also the ability to dominate other cultures.